Okay. We just read in workbooks, translation.
Translation and workbooks.
Okay.
So I can do the screen share.
Yeah. Those who are attached to materialistic life are blind to social life must act in such a way that they are bound to repeated birth and death by the actions and reactions of their activities. As clearly stated in Gita, if one does not act as a pure devotee, whatever he acts, whatever act he performs, will produce reactions of fruit of bondage, karma bandhana. Similarly, in Bhagavatam, it said, a materialistic person madly engaged in activities for sense enjoyment does not know that he is entangling himself in repeated birth and death, and that his body, although temporary, is full of miseries. A Vishai, a person blindly caught in that materialistic life, remains in the cycle of birth and death perpetually. Such a person cannot understand how to execute pure devotional service, and therefore he acts as a karmi-jnani yogi or something else according to his desire. But he does not know that the activities of karma, jnana, and yoga simply bind one to the cycle of birth and death. By his own free will, Lord Chaitanya has delivered you from such condemnment to this life. Therefore, the glories of Krishna's causeless mercy cannot be expressed. In the Brahma Samhita, it said, Karmani nirtati kuntucha bhakti bhaja. Lord Krishna is so merciful that he can stop the reactions of karma for his devotees. Everyone, from the small insect called Intergopa, the king of heaven, is bound by the reactions of further activities. Everyone, whether an insect or king of heaven, is entangled and bound by the actions and reactions of his karma. However, when one becomes a pure devotee, free from material desires and from bondage to karma and jnana yoga, one is free from the material actions and the reactions by the causeless mercy of Krishna. One cannot express sufficient gratitude to Krishna for being freed from the materialistic way of life. Seeing Raghunātha skinny and dirty because of having traveled for 12 days and fasted, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his heart melting due to causeless mercy, spoke to Swarup Damodar. My dear Swarup, he said, I trust this Raghunātha to you. Please accept him as your servant of servant, as your son of servant, your son of servant. There are now three Raghunaths among my associates. From this day forward, this Raghunath should be known as Raghu of Swarup Damodar. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has three Raghus amongst his associates, Vaidya Raghunath, Adi, Bhaṭṭa Raghunath, and dāsa. Dāsa Raghunath became celebrated as the Raghunath of Swarupa. Saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu grasped the hand of Raghunath Das and entrusted him to the hands of Swarup Damodar Gosvāmī. Swarup Damodar Gosvāmī accepted Raghunath Das, saying, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whatever you order is accepted. He then embraced Raghunath Das again. I cannot properly express the affection of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for his devotees. Being merciful towards Raghunath Das, the Lord spoke as follows to Govinda. On the way, Raghunātha Das has fasted and undergone hardships for many days. Therefore, take good care of him for some days, so that he may eat to satisfaction. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunātha Das, go bathe in the sea and see Lord Jagannath in the temple and return here to take your meal. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up and went to perform his midday duties, and Raghunath met all the devotees present. Having seen the causeless mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu upon Raghunath Das, all the devotees, struck with wonder, praised his good fortune. Raghunath Das took his bath in the sea and saw Lord Jagannath. Then he returned to Govinda, the personal servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Govinda offered him a plate with the remnants of food left by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Raghunath Das accepted the prasadam with great happiness. Raghunath Das stayed under the care of Swarup Damodar Goswami, and Govinda supplied him with the remnants of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's food for 5 days. Beginning from the 6th day, Raghunath Das was standing at the gate on the Simadwar to beg alms after the Pushpanjali ceremony, in which the flowers were offered to the Lord. After finishing their prescribed duties, the many servants of Lord Jagannath, were known as Vishais, returned home at night. If they see a Vaishnava standing at the Simadwar begging alms out of mercy, they arrange with the shopkeepers to give him something to eat. Thus, it's a custom for all time that a devotee who has no other means of support stands at the Simadwar gate to receive alms from the servants. A completely dependent Vaishnava thus chants the holy name of the Lord all day and sees Lord Jagannath with full freedom. It's a custom for some Vaishnavas to beg from the charity booths and eat whatever they obtain. whereas others stand at night at the Simhadwar gate, begging alms from the servants. Renunciation is the basic principle sustaining the lives of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees. Seeing this renunciation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is extremely satisfied. Anyone, whether an ordinary materialistic person or a pure devotee, can understand the behavior of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees if he studies it minutely. One will thus find that the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are not at all attached to any kind of material enjoyment. They have completely given up sense enjoyment to engage fully in the service of Lord Sri Krishna and dedicate their lives and souls to serving Krishna without material desires. Because their devotional service is free from material desires, it is unimpeded by material circumstances. Although ordinary men have great difficulty understanding this attitude of the devotees, it's greatly appreciated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Govinda said to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunātha Das no longer takes prasadam here. Now he stands at the Simhadwar, where he begs some alms to eat. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this, he was greatly satisfied. Raghunātha Das has done well, he said. He has acted suitably for a person in the renounced order. A person in the renounced order should always chant the holy name of the Lord. He should beg some alms to eat, and he should sustain his life in this way. As stated in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, at the 20th Vilas, a well-to-do householder cannot live like a person in the renounced order who completely takes shelter of the holy name. Such a householder should chant the holy name of Krishna in the morning. नहीं बना प्लेट तो बना नहीं. However, who fully surrendered to the lotus feet of Krishna should chant the holy name of the Lord with great love and faith, always singing Krishna's lotus feet. They should have no occupation other than chanting the holy name of the Lord. In Bhakti Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Gosvāmī says, it is the Srimad Bhagavatam's opinion that the process of deity worship is not actually necessary, just as the specific prescriptions of the Pancharatra and other scriptures do not have to be followed. The Bhagavatam enjoins that without practicing deity worship, one can achieve the complete success of human life by any other of the devotional processes, such as simply offering oneself at the Lord's feet for his protection. A Vairagi, a person in the renounced order, should not depend on others. If he does, he will be unsuccessful and he will be neglected like Krishna. If a renunciate is eager for his tongue to taste different foods, his spiritual life will be lost and he will be subservient to the taste of his tongue. A duty of a person, the renounced order, is to chant the Hare Krishna mantra always. He should satisfy his belly with water, vegetables, dates, fruits, and roots are available. One who is subservient to the tongue and who thus goes here and there, devoted to genitals and the belly, can obtain Krishna. The next day, Raghunātha Das inquired of the lotus feet of Sarvada about his duty. I do not know why having a household life. He said, what's my duty? Kindly give me instructions. Raghunātha Das never spoke a word before the Lord. Instead, he informed the Lord of his desires to Sarvada Gosvāmī and Govinda. The next day, Sarvada Gosvāmī submitted to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Raghunātha Das has this to say at your Lord's feet. I do not know my duty or the goal of my life. Therefore, please personally give me instructions from your transcendental monk. Smiling, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunātha Das, I have already appointed Sarvada Gosvāmī as your instructor. You may learn from him what your duty is and how to discharge it. I do not know as much as he. Nevertheless, if you want to take instructions from me with faith and love, you may ascertain your duties from the following words. Do not talk like people in general or hear what they say. You should not eat very palatable food, nor you should dress very nicely. Do not expect honor, but offer all respect to others. Always chant the holy name of Lord Krishna within your mind, render service to Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in his Amrita Prabhava Bhasya that when a man and woman are married, they beget children and thus entangled in family. Talk concerning such family life is called Raghunātha. A person in the renounced order never indulges in either hearing or talking about such subjects. He should not eat palatable dishes, since that is unfit for a person in the renounced order. He should show all respect to others, but should not expect respect for himself. In this way, one should chant the name of the Lord and think of how to serve Radha Krishna and Vrindavan. I have briefly given you my instructions. Now you will get all the details about them from some books through Vallabha. One who thinks himself more than grass, who is more normal and tree, does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give respect to others, can very easily chant the name of the Lord. Having heard this, Raghunātha offered prayers at the lotus feet of the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord, out of great mercy, embraced it. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again entrusted him to serve Damodar. Thus, Raghunātha rendered very confident service to which served Damodar Gosvāmī. Antaranga Seva refers to the service performed in one's spiritual body. Swarup Damodar Gosvāmī, Lalita Devi, Sri Raghunātha Goswami was among his assistants, now also began to serve Radha and Krishna within his mind. At this time, all the devotees from Bengal arrived, and as previously, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met them with a great feeling. As he had previously done, he cleansed the Gundisha temple and held a weekly affairs in the garden with the devotees. The Lord again danced with the devotees during the Rath Yatra festival. Seeing this, Raghunātha was struck with wonder. When Raghunātha met all the devotees, Advaita Acharya showed him great mercy. He also met Shivananda Sena, who all offered him, "Your father has sent 10 men to take you away. He wrote me a letter asking me to send you back, but then when those 10 men received no information about you, they returned home from Champala." When all the devotees from Bengal returned home after staying at Jagannath Puri for 4 months, Raghunātha's father heard about their arrival and therefore sent a man to Shivananda Sena. That man inquired from Shivananda Sena, "Did you see anyone in the house order at the residence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?" "That person is Raghunātha, the son of Oman Majummadar. Did you meet him in Nilachal?" Shivananda Sena replied, "Yes, sir. Raghunātha is with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and is a very famous man. Who does not know him? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has placed him under the charge of Sri Damodar. Raghunātha has become just like the life of all those devotees. He chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra all day and night, never gives up the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not even for a moment. He is in the supreme order of the man's life. Indeed, he does not care about eating and dressing. Somehow or the other, he eats and maintains his life. After 10 dandas, 4 hours of the night had passed and Raghunātha has seen the performance of Pushpanjali, he stands at the Simhadwar gate to beg Sakhans to eat. He eats if someone gives him something. He fasts, he chews by doing services. After hearing this, the messenger returned to Govardhan Majumdar and informed him all about Raghunātha. Hearing the description of Raghunātha's behavior in Raghunātha, his father and mother were very unhappy. Therefore, they decided to send Raghunātha some men with goods for his comfort. Raghunātha's father immediately sent 400 coins to servants from Brahma to Shivananda. Shivananda Sena informed them, "You cannot go to Jagannath Puri directly. When I go there, you may accompany me. Now go home. When all is go, I shall take you with me." Describing the incident, a great poet, Raghunātha, has written extensively about the glorious activities of Raghunātha in his Sri Chaitanya Chandra. Raghunātha is a disciple of Raghunātha Acharya, who is very gentle with extremely dear to Vasudeva, a resident of Kanchanapala. Because of Raghunātha's transcendental qualities, he is always more dear than life for all of us devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Since he has been favored by the abundant mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is always pleased, vividly providing a superior example for the renounced order. This very dear follower of Damodar Goswāmī is the ocean of renunciation. Who among residents of Nilachal, Raghunātha, does not know him very well? This verse from Sri Chaitanya Chandra Nataka of Caritamrta. Because he is very pleasing to all the devotees, Raghunātha Goswāmī easily became like a fertile garden of good fortune, in which it was suitable for the seed of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be sown. At the same time that seed was sown, it grew into a matchless tree for the love of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that produced fruit. In these verses, the great poet Caitanya gives the same information that Shivananda Sena conveyed to the messenger from Raghunātha's father. The next year, when Shivananda Sena was going to Jagannath Puri as usual, the servants and the Brahman, who was a cook, went with him. The servants and Brahman brought 400 goods to Jagannath Puri, and there they made Raghunātha. Raghunātha did not accept the money and men sent by his father. Therefore, the Brahman and all the servants stayed there with money. At that time, Raghunātha began inviting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his house with great attention for 2 days every week. The cost for these 2 occasions was 640 rupees. Therefore, he would take that much from the servant and the monk. Raghunātha continued to invite Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this way for 2 years. But at the end of the second year, he stopped. When Raghunātha neglected to invite Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 2 consecutive months, the Lord, the son of Sachi, questions from Damodar. The Lord asked, "Why has Raghunātha stopped inviting me?" He replied, "He must have considered something in his mind. I invite Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by accepting goods from a materialistic person. I know that the Lord's mind is not satisfied by this. My consciousness is impure because I accept all these goods from people who are interested only in pounds, sugar, and pence. Therefore, by this kind of invitation, I only get some material reputation." Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur remarks that the people who are under the bodily conception of life are called materialists. If we accept the offerings of such people, place them before the Lord and invite Vaishnavas to partake of the prasadam, that will attempt us only a material reputation, not the actual benefit of service to a pure Vaishnava. One should therefore try to serve Supreme Personality Godhead by fully surrendering at his lotus feet. If one engages for the service of the Lord, whatever money one has honestly earned, that's spiritual service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual master of the Vaishnavas. At my request, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts invitations because he knows that a foolish person like me would be unhappy if he did not accept them. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says that people who are advanced in learning but attached to material enjoyment, who are puffed up by material possessions, by birth in an elevated aristocratic family, or by education, may offer show bottle devotional service to the deity and also offer prasadam to the Vaishnavas. Because of their ignorance, however, they cannot understand that since their minds are materially polluted, neither the Supreme Personality of God of Lord Krishna nor the Vaishnavas accept their offerings. If one accepts money from such a materialistic person to offer food to the deity and Vaishnavas, a pure Vaishnava does not accept it. This causes unhappiness for the materialists because they are fully absorbed in the bodily conception of life. Therefore, they sometimes turn against the Vaishnavas. Considering all these points, Raghunātha concluded, he has stopped inviting you. Hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled and spoke as follows. When one eats food offered by a materialistic man, one's mind becomes contaminated. And when the mind is contaminated, one is unable to think of Krishna properly. Sri Chaitanya, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur suggests that people who are materialistic inclined and Sajiyas or so-called Vaishnavas who have taken everything very casually are both Vishayis or materialists. Eating food offered by them causes contamination, and as a result of such contamination, even a serious devotee becomes like a materialistic man. There are 6 kinds of association: charity, accepting food, offering food, talking confidentially, buying confidentially. One should very carefully avoid associating with both Sajiyas, who are sometimes known as Vaishnavas, and the non-Vaishnavas, who are all Vaishnavas. Their association changes the transcendent of devotional service of Lord Krishna into sense gratification. And when sense gratification enters the mind of a devotee, he is contaminated. The materialistic man who aspires after sense gratification cannot properly think of Krishna. When one accepts an invitation from a person contaminated by the material mode of passion, the person who offers the food and the person who accepts it are both mentally contaminated. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that there are 3 varieties of invitations: those involve goodness, passion, and ignorance. An invitation accepted from a pure devotee is involved goodness. An invitation accepted from a person who is pious but materially attached is in the mode of passion. And an invitation accepted from a person who is materially very simple is in the mode of ignorance. Because Raghunātha Das has eagerness, I accept his invitation for many days. It's very good that Raghunātha Das, knowing this, is now automatically giving up this practice. After some days, Raghunātha Das gave up standing near the Simadwar and instead began eating by begging alms from the booth for free distribution of them. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this news from Govinda, he inquired from Swarup Damodar, why does Raghunātha Das no longer stand at the Simadwar gate to beg alms? Swarup Damodar replied, Raghunātha Das felt unhappy standing at the Simadwar. Therefore, he is now going at midday to beg alms from the treasury. Hearing this news, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, he has done very well by no longer standing at the Simadwar gate. Such begging for alms resembles the behavior of a prostitute. Here is a person coming near, he will give me something. This person gave me something last night. Now another person is coming near, he may give me something. The person who just passed and not give me anything, but another person will come, he will give me something. Thus, the person that renounces one gives up his neutrality and depends on the charity of this person or that. Thinking this way, he adopts the occupation of a prostitute. If one goes to the booth where free food is distributed and fills his belly with whatever he obtains, there is no chance of further unwanted talk, and one can very peacefully chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again bestowed his mercy upon Raghunātha Das by giving him a stone from Govardhan Hill and a garland of small conch shells. Previously, when Shankara and Saraswati had returned from Vrindavan, he brought the stone from Govardhan Hill and also the garland of conch shells. He presented Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with these two items, the garland of conch shells and the stone from Govardhan Hill. Upon receiving these two uncommon items, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was extremely happy. While chanting, he put the garland around his neck. The Lord would put the stone to his heart, or sometimes to his eyes. Sometimes he would smell it with his nose, and sometimes place it on his head. The stone from Govardhan was always moist with the tears from his eyes. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would say, this stone is directly the body of Krishna. For 3 years he kept the stone in garland. Then, greatly satisfied with the behavior of Raghunātha Das, the Lord delivered both of them to him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Raghunātha Das, this stone is a transcendental form of Lord Krishna. Worship the stone with great eagerness. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasya that, in the opinion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Govardhan Shila, the stone from Govardhan Hill, is directly the form of Lord Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda. The Lord used the stone for 3 years. Then, in the heart of Raghunātha Das, the Lord awakened the devotional service to the stone. The Lord gave the stone to Raghunātha Das, accepting him as one of his confidential servants. However, some envious people conclude that because Raghunātha Das has not taken birth in the family of Brahmins, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not give him the right to worship the deity directly, but instead gave him a stone from Govardhan. This kind of thought is not hellish. As stated in Bhagavad Puran, if one thinks that the worshipable Shaligram Shila is a mere stone, that the spiritual master is an ordinary human being, or that a pure Vaishnava preaching the bhakti cult all over the world is a member of a particular caste or material division of society, he is considered narki, a candidate for hellish life. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed that the Govardhan Shila, the stone taken from Govardhan, is not different from the body of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he directly advised such foolish persons that one should not be envious of a Vaishnava who belongs in a different caste or sect. One should accept a Vaishnava as transcendental. In this way, one can be saved. Otherwise, one is surely awaiting a hellish life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, worship the stone in the mode of goodness like a perfect Brahmin, for by such worship you will attain ecstatic love of Krishna without delay. For such worship, one needs a jug of water and a few flowers from a tulsi tree. This is the worship in complete goodness when performed in complete purity. With faith and love, you should offer 8 soft tulsi flowers, each with 2 tulsi leaves, one on each side of each flower. After thus advising him how to worship, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regularly offered Raghunātha Das the Govardhan Shila with his transcendental hand. As advised by the Lord, Raghunātha Das worshipped the Shila in great transcendental jubilation. Swarup Damodar gave Raghunātha Das 2 cloths, each about 6 inches long, a wooden platform, and a jug in which to keep water. Thus, Raghunātha Das began worshipping the stone from Govardhan. As he worshipped, he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, directly in the stone. Thinking of how he had received the Golden Shila directly from the hands of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunātha Das was always overflooded with ecstatic love. The amount of transcendental bliss that Raghunātha Das enjoys simply by offering the water and tulsi is impossible to achieve, even if one worships the deity with 16 kinds of paraphernalia. After Raghunātha Das had thus worshipped Golden Shila for some time, Swarup Damodar one day spoke to him as follows: offer Govardhan stone 8 floris worth of first-class sweetmeats known as kaja and sandesh. If you offer them with faith and love, they'll just be like nectar. Raghunātha Das then began offering the costly sweetmeats known as kaja, which Govinda, following the order of Swarup Damodar, was supplied. When Raghunātha Das received from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the stone and the garland and conch shells, he could understand the Lord's intention. Thus he thought as follows: by offering me the golden Shila, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has offered me a place near Golden Hill, and by offering me the garland of conch shells, he has offered me shelter at the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Raghunātha Das mentioned in the bliss was boundless. Forgetting everything external, he served the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his body and mind. Who could list the unlimited transcendental attributes of Sri Raghunātha Das? His strict regulative principles were exactly like lines on a stone. The word Pasha Mera Rekha is very significant. Raghunātha Das Gosvāmī followed the regulative principles so strictly and rigidly that they were compared to the lines of a stone. As such, the lines cannot be erased at any time, so the regulative principles observed by Raghunātha Das Goswami could not be changed under any circumstance. Raghunātha Das spent more than 22 hours out of every 24 chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and remembering the lotus feet of the Lord. He ate and slept less than half an hour, and on some days that was impossible. Topics concerning his renunciation are wonderful. Throughout his life, he never allowed his tongue sense gratification. He never touched anything to wear except a small torn cloth and patchwork wrapper. Thus, he rigidly executed the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The principle of very rigidly carrying out the order of the spiritual master must be observed. The spiritual master gives different orders to different people. For example, Mahaprabhu ordered Jiva Goswami, Rupa, and Sanatan to preach, and he ordered Raghunātha Das Goswami to strictly follow the rules and regulations of the renounced order. All six Goswamis strictly follow the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the principle for progress in devotional service. After receiving an order from the spiritual master, one must strictly try to execute the order. That's the way of success. Whatever he ate was only to keep his body and soul together, and when he ate, he would reproach himself thus. If one's heart has been cleansed by the perfect knowledge and one has understood Krishna, the supreme Brahman, he then gains everything. Why should such a person act like a debauchee by trying to maintain his material body very carefully? This verse was spoken by Narad to Yudhishthira Maharaj regarding the householder's liberation from the material bondage. On the spiritual platform, one does not unnecessarily care for the body. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has said, one who is spiritually situated does not think that he is the body. Therefore, he can transcendently execute severe penances in a renounced order of life. The best example of such renunciation is Raghunātha Das Goswami. Lord Jagannath's prasadam is sold by shopkeepers, and that which is not sold decomposes after 2 or 3 days. All the decomposed food is thrown before the cows from the Tailanka at the Simhadwar gate. Because of this rotten odor, even the cows cannot eat it. At night, Raghunātha Das would collect that decomposed rice, bring it home, wash it, and add the water. Then he ate the hard inner portion of the rice with salt. One day, Sarup Damodar saw the activities of Raghunātha Das. Thus he smiled and asked for a small portion of the food and ate it. Sarup Damodar said, "You eat such nectar every day, but you never offer it to us. What is your character?" When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard news from the mouth of Govinda, he went there the next day and spoke as follows: "What nice things are you eating? Why don't you give me anything to eat?" Saying this, he forcibly took a morsel and began to eat. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking another morsel of food, slowed down and caught him by the hand and said, "It's not fit for you." Thus he forcibly took the food away. Mahaprabhu said, "Of course, every day I eat varieties of prasad, but I've never tasted such nice prasadam as that which Raghunātha is eating." Thus, Mahaprabhu performed many pastimes at Jagannath Puri. Seeing the severe penances performed by Raghunātha Das, the renounced order, the Lord was greatly satisfied. In his poem known as Gaurangastava Kalpavriksha, Raghunātha Das has described his personal deliverance. Although I am a fallen soul, the lowest of men, Mahaprabhu delivered me from the blazing forest by great material opulence by his mercy. He handed me over in great pleasure to serve Damodar, his personal associate. The Lord also gave me the garland of small palm shells that he wore on his chest and his stone from gold and hill, although they were very dear to him. That same Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, awakens within my heart and makes me mad after him. This verse is from Sri Gauranga Pavishra, written by Raghunātha Das Goswami. Thus I have described the meaning of Raghunātha Das But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, anyone who hears about this incident attends the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunātha, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, and narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta, following their footsteps. Chapter 7, Meaning of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Vallabha. The following summary of Chapter 7 is given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Prabhava Bhavasya. Next one. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Simply by the causeless mercy of the devotees engaged in licking honey from his lotus feet, even a fallen soul becomes eternally liberated. All glories to Mahaprabhu, all glories to Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Chandra, and all glories to the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Next year, all the devotees of Bengal went to visit Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as previously, the Lord met each and every one of them. Thus, Mahaprabhu performed his pastime with his devotees. Then a learned scholar named Vallabha went to Raghunātha to meet the Lord. For a description of Vallabha, one may refer to Madhya Lila, chapter 19, text 61. When Vallabha arrived, he offered his obeisances at the lotus feet of the Lord, accepting him as a great devotee. The Lord embraced him. With great respect, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seated Vallabha near him. Then Vallabha very humbly began to speak. For a long time, he said, I have desired to see you, my Lord. Now, Lord Chaitanya has fulfilled this desire. Therefore, I am seeing you. One who receives your audience is fortunate indeed, for you are the supreme personality of Godhead himself. Since one who remembers you is purified, why should it be astonishing that one becomes purified by seeing you? One can immediately purify his entire house simply by remembering the exalted personalities. To say nothing of directly seeing them, touching their lotus feet, washing their feet, or offering them places to sit. This is a quotation from Bhagavad. The fundamental religious system in the age of Kali is the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Unless empowered by Krishna, one cannot propagate the Sankirtan movement. You have spread the Sankirtan movement of Sri Krishna consciousness. Therefore, it's evident that you have been empowered by Lord Krishna. There's no question about it. Sri Madhvacharya has brought to our attention this quotation from Narayana Samhita. In the Dwapara Yuga, one could satisfy Krishna or Vishnu by worshipping opulently according to Panchavatika system. But in the age of Kali, one can satisfy the worship of the Supreme Personality of God and Hari simply by chanting his holy name. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains that unless one is directly empowered by the conscious mercy of Krishna, one cannot become the spiritual master of the entire world, Jagadguru. One cannot become an acharya simply by mental speculation. The true acharya presents Krishna to everyone by preaching the holy name of the Lord throughout the world. Thus, the conditioned souls, purified by the chanting of the holy name, are liberated from the blazing fire into existence. In this way, the spiritual benefit grows increasingly full like the waxing moon in the sky. The true Acharya, the spiritual master of the entire world, must be considered an incarnation of Krishna's mercy. Indeed, he is personally embracing Krishna. He is therefore the spiritual master of all varnas and all ashrams. Since he is understood to be the most advanced devotee, he is called Paramahansa Thakur. Thakur is a title of honor offered to the Paramahansa. Therefore, one who acts as an acharya directly presents Lord Krishna by spreading his name and fame is also to be called Paramahansa Thakur. You have manifested the holy name of Krishna throughout the entire world. Anyone who sees you is immediately absorbed in the ecstatic love of Krishna. Without being especially empowered by Krishna, one cannot manifest ecstatic love for Krishna, for Krishna is the only one who is ecstatic love. That's the verdict of all of the scriptures. There may be many almost precious incarnations of the Supreme Personality of God. But who other than Lord Chaitanya than Sri Krishna can bestow the love of God on the surrendered souls? This is a verse written by Bilva Mangal Thakur. It's quoted by Srila Rupa Gosvāmī in his Loka Bhagavatamrita. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, My dear Vallabha, you are the learned scholar. Kindly listen to me. I am a sannyasi at the Mayava school, therefore I have no chance of knowing what Krishna Bhakti is. Nevertheless, my mind has become purified because I have associated with Advaita Acharya, who is directly the Supreme Personality of God. He is unparalleled in his understanding of all of these scriptures and the devotional service of Lord Krishna. Therefore, he is called Advaita Acharya. He is such a great personality that by his mercy, one can convert even the meat eaters, Vrechas, to the devotional service of Krishna. Who therefore can estimate the power of his Vaishnavism? It is extremely difficult to convert a Mlecha or meat eater into a devotee of the Lord. Therefore, anyone who can do so is situated in the highest level of Vaishnavism. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, the Avadut, is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is always intoxicated by the madness of ecstatic love. Indeed, he is an ocean of love for Krishna. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya perfectly knows the six philosophical theses. He is therefore the spiritual master of the entire world in teaching the six paths of philosophy. He is the best of the devotees. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has shown me the limits of devotional service. Only by his mercy have I understood that devotional service to Krishna is the essence of all mystic yoga. Srila Ramananda Rai is the ultimate knower of transcendental mellows of Lord Krishna's devotional service. He has instructed me that Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Through the mercy of Ramananda Rai, I have understood that the ecstatic love of Krishna is the highest goal of life, and the spontaneous love of Krishna is the highest perfection. Purushartha, the goal of life, generally refers to religion, economic development, satisfaction of senses, and finally, liberation. However, above all these four kinds of Purusharthas, the love of God stands supreme. It's called Parama Purushartha, the supreme goal of life, or Purushartha Shiromani, the most exalted of the Purusharthas. Lord Krishna is worshipped by regulated principle by the regulated devotional service. But the highest perfection of devotional service is the spontaneous love of Godhead. The servant, friend, superior conjugal lover are the shelters of the transcendental mellows called Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Shringar. There are two kinds of emotion, however. Emotion with an understanding of the Lord's opulence is called Aishwarya, Jnana Yukta, and pure uncontaminated emotion is called Kevala. One cannot achieve shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda, simply by knowing his opulences. Madhya Lila, chapter 9. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the son of Maharaj Yashoda, is accessible to those devotees engaged in spontaneous loving service, but he is not easily accessible to the mental speculators, to those striving for self-realization by severe austerities and penances, or those who consider the names of the Lord same as the self. The word Atma-bhuta means the personal associates. Through the understanding of Lord opulence, the goddess of fortune could not receive the shelter of Krishna, son of Vallabha. Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, has complete knowledge of Krishna's opulences, but she could not achieve the association of Krishna by dint of such knowledge. The devotees in Vrindavan, however, actually enjoy the association of Krishna. When Shri Krishna was dancing with the gopis in the Rasa Lila, the gopis were embraced around the neck by Lord's arms. This transcendental favor was never bestowed upon the goddess of fortune on the undergone souls of the spiritual world. Nor was such a thing ever imagined by the beautiful girls in the heavenly planets. Girls whose bodily luster and aroma resemble the beauty and fragrance of lotus flowers. And what to speak of worldly women, who may be very beautiful according to material estimation. In pure Krishna consciousness, a friend's mouth is the shoulder, a friend's mouth is the shoulder of Krishna, and whether you should apply the Lord. Shuddha Bhava, pure Krishna consciousness, is not dependent on an understanding of Lord's opulences. Even without such opulences, the devotee in Shuddha Bhava is inclined to love Krishna as a friend or a son. In pure Krishna consciousness, without the knowledge of Lord's opulences, a devotee considers Krishna as his friend or son. Therefore, this devotional attitude is praised even by Shukadeva Gosvāmī and Vyasadeva, the supreme authority. Neither those who are engaged in this self-realization, appreciating the Brahman effulgence of the Lord, nor those engaged in the devotional service, while accepting the supreme personality of God as master, nor those who are under the clutches of Maya, thinking like the Lord, an ordinary person, can understand that certain exalted personalities, after accumulating volumes of past activities, are now playing with the Lord in friendship as power of voice. When Mother Yashoda saw all universes within the Krishna's mouth, she was astonished for the first time, for the time being. Lord is worshipped like Indra and the other demigods by the followers of the three Vedas who offer him sacrifices. He is worshipped by the person Brahman by the saintly persons who understand its greatness through studying the Upanishads as the Purusha by great philosophers who analytically study the universe as an all-pervading supersoul by the great yogis and the supreme personality of God by devotees. Nevertheless, Mother Yashoda considered the Lord her son. O Brahmins, what pious activities did Nanda Maharaj perform to receive the supreme personality of God as Krishna as his son? And what pious activities did Mother Yashoda perform that made the absolute supreme personality of God and Krishna call her mother and suck her breast? Even if a pure devotee sees the opulence of Krishna, he does not accept it. Therefore, the pure consciousness is more exalted than the consciousness of Lord's opulence. Raghunātha Rai is extremely aware of the transcendent mellows. He is incessantly absorbed in the happiness of the ecstatic love of Krishna. It is he who taught me all this. It's impossible to describe the influence and knowledge of Raghunātha Rai, for only by his mercy have I understood the kind of God of the vastness of Vrindavan. The transcendental mellows of the ecstatic love are personified with Sukhbrahmana. By his association, I have understood Vrindavan's transcendental mellow of conjugal love. The unalloyed love of gopis and Srimati Radharani is without any trace of material lust. The criterion for such transcendental love is that its only purpose is to satisfy Krishna. My dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breast, fearing that your feet might will be hurt. Our lives will rest only in you. Our minds, remember, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about another forest path. Obsessed with pure love, about the knowledge of opulences, the gopis sometimes chastise Krishna. That's a symptom of pure ecstatic love. Oh dear Krishna, we gopis have neglected the order of husbands, sons, family, brothers, friends, and have left their good company to come to you. You know everything about our desires. We have only come here because we are attracted by the supreme mistake of your food. But you are a great cheater, for who else would give up the company of young girls like us in the dead of the night? The conjugal love of gopis is the most exalted devotional service, surpassing all other methods of bhakti. Therefore, Krishna is obliged to say, my dear gopis, I cannot repay you. Indeed, I am always indebted to you. O gopis, I am not able to repay my debt or respond to service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have mercifully cutting off all domestic ties which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be completely distinct from the love of Krishna and opulence. Pure love of Krishna is on the highest level. On the surface of the world, there is no greater devotee than Buddha. Let that be. Thank you. Buddha desires to take on his head the dust of the gopis' lotus feet. I have learned about all these transcendental loving affairs of Krishna from Sudha Mother. The gopis of Vrindavan have given up the association of their husbands, sons, and other family members who are very difficult to give up, and they have forsaken the path of chastity to take shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda Krishna, which one should search for by Vedic knowledge. Oh, let me, by fortunate enough, become one of the bushless creepers or herbs in Vrindavan. For the gopis trample them and bless them in the dust of their lotus feet. This verse from Bhagavatam was spoken by Buddha when Buddha was sent by Krishna to see the condition of the gopis of Vrindavan. He stayed there for a few months in their association and always talked with them about Krishna. Although this greatly pleased the gopis and other residents of Brajagopi, Vrindavan, Buddha saw that the gopis were severely affected by the separation from Krishna. Their hearts were so disturbed and their minds were sometimes deranged. Observing the unalloyed devotion and the love of gopis for Krishna, Uddhava desired to become rebirth and later realized even and heard and heard in Vrindavan, so that sometimes the gopis would trample him and receive the dust of the Buddha's feet on his head. Haridas Thakur, the teacher of the holy name, is the most exalted of all pure devotees. Every day he chants 300,000 holy names of the Lord. I have learned about the glories of the Lord's holy name from Haridas Thakur. By his mercy, I have understood these words. Acharya Ratna, Acharya Nidhi, Gadadhar Pandit, Jagananda, Damodar Sankar, Pakreshava, Kashishwara, Mukunda, Vasudev, Murari, and many other devotees have descended in Bengal to preach to everyone the glories of the Holy Name of Krishna and the value of Him. I have learned from them the meaning of devotional service to Krishna. Knowing that Vallabha's heart was full of pride, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke these words, hinting at how one can learn about the devotional service. Vallabha was greatly proud of his devotion, of his knowledge and devotional service, and therefore wanted to speak about the Lord Mahaprabhu without understanding the Lord's position. The Lord therefore hinted in many ways that if Vallabha wanted to know about what devotional service actually is, he would have to learn from all the devotees he is mentioning, beginning with Advaita Acharya, Lord Nityananda, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and Ramananda. As Damodar has said, if one wants to learn the meaning of Bhagavatam, one must take lessons from the realized soul. One should not proudly think that one can understand the transcendental loving service of the Lord simply by reading books. One must become a servant of a Vaishnava. As Narottam Das Thakur confirmed, Charya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Peche Keva. One cannot be in transcendental unless one very faithfully serves a Vaishnava. One must accept a Vaishnava Guru and thereby question the answers one should gradually learn the pure devotional service to Krishna. This is called the Parampara system. Vallabha was thinking, I'm a great Vaishnava. Having learned all the conclusions of Vaishnava philosophy, I can understand the meaning of Bhagavatam and explain it very well. Such pride had existed for a long time within the mind of Vallabha. But as he heard the preaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his pride was cut down. When Vallabha heard from the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the pure Vaishnavas of all these devotees, he immediately desired to see them. Vallabha said, where do all these Vaishnavas live, and how can I see them? Mahaprabhu replied, although some of them live in Bengal and some in other states, they have all come here to see the Rath Yatra festival. At present, they are all living here. Their residences are in various quarters. Here you will get the audience of them all. Therefore, with great submission and humility, Vallabha invited Mahaprabhu to dine at his home. The next day, when all the Vaishnavas came to the abode of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord introduced Vallabha to them. He was surprised to see the brilliance of their faces. Indeed, among them, Vallabha seemed just like a glowworm. Then Vallabha, although in great quantity of Lord Jagannath's Mahaprasadam, brought in a great quantity of Lord Jagannath's Mahaprasadam, and sumptuously fed Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. All those sannyasi associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, headed by the Paramananda Puri, sat on one side and thus partook of the prasada. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat in the midst of the devotees. Advaita Acharya and Lord Nityananda each sat on one side of the Lord. The other devotees sat in front of the Lord and behind him. The devotees from Bengal, whom I am unable to count, all sat down in lines in the courtyard. When Vallabha saw all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was greatly surprised, and in devotion he offered his obeisances at the lotus feet of each and every one of them. Shlok Damodar, Jagananda, Kashishwar, and Shankar, along with Raghav and Damodar Pandit, took charge of distributing prasada. Vallabha had brought a large quantity of Mahaprasad and offered to Lord Jagannath. Thus, all the sannyasis sat down to eat with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Accepting the prasad, all the Vaishnavas chanted the holy names Hari Hari. The rising vibrations of the holy name of Hari filled the entire universe. When all the Vaishnavas had finished eating, Vallabha brought a large quantity of garlands, sandalwood, pulp, spices, and betel. He worshipped the devotees very respectfully and became extremely happy. On the day of the car festival, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began the congregational chanting, as he had done previously. He divided all the devotees into 7 groups. The 7 devotees, Advaita Nityananda, Haridas Thakur, Bhakteshwara, Srivas Thakur, Raghav Pandita, Gadadhar Pandit, formed 7 groups and began dancing. Mahaprabhu chanting Haribol wandered from one group to another. 14 Mridangas resounded with loud congregational chanting, and in each group was a dancer whose dance of ecstatic love inundated the entire hall. Seeing all this, Vallabha was completely astonished. He was overwhelmed by the transcendental bliss and lost himself. When Mahaprabhu stopped the dancing of the others, as he had done previously, he personally began to dance. Seeing the beauty of Mahaprabhu and awakening of his ecstatic love, Vallabha concluded, here is Lord Krishna without a doubt. Thus, Vallabha witnessed a car festival. He was simply astonished by the characteristics of Mahaprabhu. One day after the festival was over, Vallabha went to the abode of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and submitted a request at the lotus feet of the Lord. I have written some commentary on Bhagavatam, he said. Would you worship? Would your lordship kindly hear it? The Lord replied, I do not understand the meaning of Bhagavatam. Indeed, I am not a suitable person to hear its meaning. I simply sit and try to chant the meaning of the Lord. Although I chant day and night, I nevertheless cannot complete the chanting of my prescribed number of rounds. Vallabha said, I have tried to describe the I tried to describe elaborately the meaning of Krishna's holy name. Kindly hear the explanation. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, I do not accept many different meanings of Lord of the holy name of Krishna. I only know that Krishna is Shyam Sundar and Yashanandan. That's all I know. The only purport of the holy name of Krishna is that he is dark blue, like a Mahāprabhu, and is the son of Mother Yashoda. That's the conclusion of all revealed scriptures. This verse is from Namakavati. I conclusively know that these two names, Shyam Sundar and Yashanandan, I do not understand any other meanings, nor have the capacity to understand them. Being omniscient, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could understand that Vallabha explanation of Krishna's name and Srimad Bhagavatam were useless. Therefore, he did not care about them. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rigidly declined to hear his explanations, Vallabha went home feeling rose. His faith in the Lord and devotion to him changed. Therefore, Vallabha went to the home of Gadadhar Pandit. He kept coming and going, showing affection in various ways, and thus maintained a relationship with him. Because Mahaprabhu did not take Vallabha very seriously, none of these people in Jagannath Puri would hear any of his explanations. Ashamed and insulted, unhappy, Vallabha went to Gadadhar Pandit. Approaching him with great humility, Vallabha said, I have taken shelter with you, my dear sir. Kindly be merciful to me and save my life. Please hear my explanation of the meaning of Lord Krishna's name. In that way, the mud of the shame that has come upon me will be washed off. Thus, Pandit Gosvāmī fell into the dilemma. He was just in such doubt that he could not decide alone what to do. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not take Vallabha very seriously, for Pandita Goswami or Gadadhar Goswami fell into perplexity. What would be his position if he heard Vallabha's explanation of Krishna's name? Certainly, Mahaprabhu would be displeased, therefore Gadadhar Pandit Goswami would not make a decision. Although Gadadhar Pandit Goswami did not want to hear it, Vallabha began to read his explanation with great force. Because of Vallabha was a great learned Brahmin, Gadadhar Pandit would not forbid him, and thus he began to think about Krishna. My dear Lord Krishna, he requested, please protect me in this danger. I have taken shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is present in everyone's heart, and he will know my mind. Therefore, I do not fear him. His associates, however, are extremely critical. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exists in everyone's heart. Therefore, he will know the circumstances under which Pandit Goswami agreed to hear Vallabha's explanation, and certainly he would not be angry. However, the Vaishnavas who are always with Mahaprabhu might not understand Gadadhar Pandita in his consciousness, and they might accuse him of having compromised with Vallabha. Despite having been regularly neglected by Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar Pandit Goswami was seriously thinking in this way. Although Gadadhar Pandit Goswami was not in the least at fault, some of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees showed affectionate anger toward him. Every day, Vallabha would come to the place of Mahaprabhu to engage in unnecessary arguments with Advaita Acharya and other great personalities such as Raghunātha. Whatever conclusions Vallabha eagerly presented were refuted by personalities like Advaita Acharya. Whenever Vallabha entered the society of devotees, headed by Advaita Acharya, he was like a duck in the society of white swans. One day, Vallabha said to Advaita Acharya, every living entity is like a female, Prakriti, and considers Krishna her husband, Prakriti. It is the duty of a chaste wife devoted to her husband, not to utter her husband's name, but also chant the name of Krishna. How can this be called a religious principle? Advaita Acharya responded, in front of you, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the personification of religious principles. You should ask him, for he will give you the proper answer. Hearing this, Mahaprabhu said, my dear Vallabha, you do not know religious principles. Actually, the first duty of a chaste woman is to carry out the order of her husband. The order of Krishna is to chant his name incessantly. Therefore, one who is chaste and adhering to the husband of Krishna must chant the name of the Lord's name. For she cannot deny her husband's order. Following this religious principle, a pure devotee of Krishna always chants the Lord's name. And as a result of this, he gets the fruit of ecstatic love for Krishna. Hearing this, Vallabha was speechless. He returned home greatly unhappy and began to consider thus. Every day I am defeated in this assembly. If by chance I am one day victorious, that will be the great source of happiness for me, and all my shame will go away. But what means shall I adopt to establish my statements? The next day, when he came to the assembly of Mahaprabhu, he sat down after offering obeisances to the Lord and said something with great pride. In my commentary of Bhagavatam, he said, I refuted the explanations of Sridhar Swami. I cannot explain it. I cannot accept his explanations. Whatever Sridhar Swami reads, he explains according to the circumstances. Therefore, he is inconsistent with his explanations and cannot be accepted as an authority. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smilingly replied, one who does not accept the Swami husband as an authority, I consider a prostitute. After saying this, Mahaprabhu became very grave. All the devotees present derived great satisfaction from hearing the statement. Mahaprabhu descended as an incarnation for the benefit of the entire world. Thus, he knew the mind of Vallabha very well. By the various hints of and reputations, Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, corrected Vallabha exactly as Krishna had cut down the fourth Caritamrta. Indra, the king of heaven, was very proud of his position, and therefore when the residents of Vrindavan not perform Indra Yajna, but instead went to perform the Govardhan Yajna in accordance with the instructions of Krishna. Indra, because of his false pride, wanted to chastise the residents of Vrindavan. Thinking himself extremely powerful, Indra poured incessant rain upon Vrindavan. But Lord Krishna immediately cut down his pride by lifting Govardhan Hill as an umbrella to save the residents of Vrindavan. In this way, Krishna proved Indra's power most insignificant in the presence of his own omnipotence. An ignorant living being does not recognize his actual profit. Because of ignorance and material pride, he can sometimes uh, he considers profit a loss, but when his pride is cut down, he can actually see his true benefit. Returning home that night, Vallabha thought previously at Prayag, Lord Chaitanya was very kind to me. He accepted my invitation with his other devotees. He was kind to me. And why has he now changed so much here at Jagannath Puri? Being very proud of my learning, I'm thinking, let me become victorious. Mahaprabhu, however, is trying to purify me by nullifying this false pride. For a characteristic of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is that he acts for everyone's welfare. I'm falsely proud, advertising myself as a learned scholar. Therefore, Mahaprabhu insults me just to favor me by cutting down this false pride. He is actually acting for my benefit. Although I interrupt his actions as insults, this is exactly like the incident in which Lord Krishna considered Indra, the great Bhaṭṭa who to protect him. Thinking in this way, Vallabha approached Mahaprabhu the next morning, and in great humility, offering many prayers, he sought shelter and surrendered at the lotus feet of the Lord. Vallabha admitted, I am a great fool, and indeed I have acted like a fool by trying to demonstrate my learning to you. My dear Lord, you are the supreme personality of God, for you have shown me in a way just befitting your position by insulting me to cut down my false pride. I am an ignorant fool, for I interpret. You have completed the Torah. In this way, I'm just like King Indra, out of ignorance, try to surpass Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Yes, yes, I thank you for this. My dear Lord, you have cured the blindness of my false pride by smearing my eyes with the ointment of your mercy. You have bestowed such mercy upon me that my ignorance is now gone. My dear Lord, I committed offenses. Please excuse me. I seek shelter of you. Please be merciful unto me by placing your lotus feet upon my head. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you are both a greatly learned scholar and a great devotee. Wherever there are such two great attributes, there cannot be a mountain of false pride. You have dared criticize Sridhar Swami, and you have begun your own commentary on Bhagavatam, not accepting his authority. This is your false pride. Sridhar Swami is the spiritual master of the entire world because by his mercy we can understand Bhagavatam. I therefore accept him as a spiritual master. Whatever you might write due to false pride trying to surpass Sridhar Maharaj would carry a contrary purport. Therefore, no one would pay attention to it. Bhagavatam has many tikas or commentaries following the Parampara system, but Sridhar Swami's is first. The commentaries of all other acharyas follow his. The Parampara system does not allow one to deviate from the contemporaries' commentaries of the previous acharyas. Depending upon the previous acharyas, one can write beautiful commentaries. However, one cannot defy the previous acharyas. The false pride that one makes that makes one think that he can be better than the previous acharya would make one's comments faulty. At the present moment, it has become fashionable for everyone to write in his own way. But such writing is never accepted by serious devotees. Because of false pride, every scholar and philosopher wants to exhibit his learning by interpreting the Shastras, especially in Gita and Bhagavatam, in his own way. This system of commenting in one's way is fully condemned by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, he says, Artha Vyasta Likhana Se. Commentaries written according to one's own philosophical way are never accepted. No one will appreciate such commentaries on the revealed scriptures. By one who comments on Bhagavatam, following the footsteps of Sridhar Swami, will be honored and accepted by everyone. Put forth your explanation of Bhagavatam, following in the footsteps of Sridhar Maharaj. Give up your false pride, worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Abandoning your offenses, chant the Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the holy names of the Lord. Then very soon we will achieve the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Vallabha requested Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you are actually pleased with me, please accept my invitation once again. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is descended to deliver the entire universe, accepted the invitation of Vallabha just to give him happiness. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always eager to see everyone in the material world happy. Therefore, sometimes he chastises someone just to purify his heart. When Vallabha invited Mahaprabhu and his associates, the Lord was very pleased with them. Jagadanda Pandits. Pure ecstatic love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very deep. It cannot be compared to the love of Satyabhama, who always quarreled with Lord Krishna. Jagadanda Pandit was accustomed to provoking loving quarrels with the Lord. There was always some disagreements between them. Gadadhar Pandit's pure ecstatic love for Mahaprabhu was very deep. It was like that of Rukmini Devi, who was very especially submissive to Krishna. Lord Mahaprabhu sometimes desired to see Gadadhar Pandit's affection and anger, but because of his knowledge of the Lord's opulences, his anger was never invoked. Joking with Rukmini Devi in Dwarka, Krishna once advised her to accept another husband because he was unfit for her. Rukmini Devi, however, is unable to understand his joking words, took them very seriously, and immediately fell on the ground with the fear of separation from him.
I think funny.
Thank you. In the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, Jagadanda Pandit was always in disagreement with Lord like Satyabhama, whereas Gadadhar Pandit, awed by the Lord's opulence, was therefore submissive to the Lord under all circumstances. For this purpose, Mahaprabhu sometimes showed his apparent anger. Hearing of this anger inspired great fear in the heart of Gadadhar Pandit. Previously in Krishna Lila, when Krishna joked with Rukmini Devi, she took his words very seriously, and fear awoke within her mind. Vallabha was accustomed to worshipping Lord as child Krishna. Therefore, he had been initiated into Bal Gopal mantra and thus worshipping the Lord. In the association of Gadadhar Pandit, His mind was converted, and he dedicated his mind to worshipping Kishore Gopal, Krishna as a young boy. Vallabha wanted to be initiated by Gadadhar Pandit, but Gadadhar Pandit refused, saying, "The work of acting as a spiritual master is not possible for me. I am completely dependent. My Lord is Gaurachandra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I cannot do anything independently without his order. My dear Vallabha, your coming to me is not appreciated by Mahaprabhu. Therefore, he sometimes speaks to chastise me. Some days passed when Mahaprabhu, finally pleased with Vallabha, accepted his invitation. The Lord sent Swarup Jagananda Pandit, and Govinda to call for Gadadhar Pandit. On the way, Swarup said to Gadadhar Pandit, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to test you, therefore he neglected you. Why did you not retaliate by reproaching him? Why did you fearfully tolerate his criticism? Gadadhar Pandit said, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is completely independent. He is the topmost omniscient personality. It would not look well for me to talk to him as if I were his equal. I can tolerate whatever he says, bearing it upon my head. He will automatically be merciful to me after considering my faults and attributes. After saying this, Gadadhar Pandit went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and fell down after crying at the lotus feet of the Lord. Smiling slightly, the Lord embraced him and spoke with sweet words so that the others would also hear. I wanted to agitate you, the Lord said, but you did not become agitated. Indeed, you could not say anything in anger. Instead, you tolerated everything. Your mind was not disturbed by my tricks, rather, you stayed fixed in your simplicity. In this way, you have purchased me. No one can describe the characteristics and the exact love of Gadadhar Pandit. Therefore, another name for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gadadhar Raghunātha, the life and soul of Gadadhar Pandit. No one can say how merciful the Lord is to Gadadhar Pandit, but people know the Lord is Gadaira Gauranga, the Lord Gauranga of Gadadhar Pandit. No one can understand the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are like Ganges, for hundreds and thousands of branches flow from every one of his activities. Gadadhar Pandit is celebrated all over the world for his gentle behavior, his Brahminical attributes, and steady love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord purified Vallabha by cleansing him of the mud of false pride. By such activities, the Lord also instructed others. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always merciful to other. Other. It's almost finished. Yeah. Thank you. He was sometimes externally negligent of his devotees. He would not be preoccupied with his external feature. However, for if we do so, we shall be vanquished. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very deep. Who can understand them? One who has formed a deep devotion to his Lord's feet can understand these pastimes. Another day, Gadadhar Pandit invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to dinner. Lord took prasadam at his home with his personal associates. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu acted as a very merciful well-wisher towards Vallabha, by externally neglecting him in many ways to purify him on his false pride in being a learned scholar. The Lord neglected Gadadhar Pandit for a few days because of his associating with Vallabha. As actually, he was not at all pleased with Gadadhar Pandit. Indeed, because Gadadhar Pandit is the personal potency of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is no chance of the Lord's being dissatisfied with him. However, a person who is too much attracted to externals cannot understand the deep meaning of these dealings of Mahaprabhu. If one therefore becomes disrespectful to Gadadhar Pandit, he will surely be vanquished. Therefore, Vallabha took permission from Mahaprabhu, and his desire to be initiated by Gadadhar Pandit was thus fulfilled. I have thus explained the Lord's meaning with Vallabha. By hearing of this incident, one can achieve the treasure of love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Praying at the lotus feet of Rupa and Raghunātha, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna, thus narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta and following in their footsteps. Thus ends chapter 7. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta